Brendon L.
There's no anonymity here.
Can I say your name?
Sure.
Okay. Brendon Le Roux. Le Roux.
Okay, this is addicts having coffee.
Even a clapperboard.
We got a clapperboard, bro. We've got his clapperboard and everything.
And it's Addicts Having Coffee, episode 8.
Yeah. Hi, guys, and welcome to Addicts Having Coffee with me, Tony Quinn, where we talk addiction, recovery, and everything in between. Today, we have Brendon Le Roux with us. Welcome, Brendon. I can say his full name. I got permission. Welcome.
Thanks, Tony, and thanks for having me. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here.
Oh, dude, I've got so much love for you. I really do. You just, every single time I see you, I feel good. I feel calm. I feel like I can have an honest, open conversation. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate you as a person and the work you do in recovery spaces.
Yeah, well, it goes both ways, Tony. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Bren. So, this is what we do, right? Like, we're just going to tell our story. Nothing is off limits. If you feel safe with the topic and you want to discuss it, feel free to discuss it. If I ask you a question you're uncomfortable with and don't want to answer, feel free not to answer. Like, the space is yours,
Cool.
you know? It's
Thank
all
you.
about you. And I think when it comes to telling the addiction recovery story, the best place to start is the beginning and take us through your life, Brendon.
Okay. Sure. That's a long story. Eh?
It's
How
a-
much time do we have?
Oh, we have as much time as possible.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that, like, I was stuck in addiction for a very long time, close on 3 decades.
Yo.
And I really didn't see a way out. And I had subscribed to the fact that I was going to be an addict for the rest of my life, and there was no way anything would change. Until, you know, life, I don't know if you know this, like the hero's journey, some sort of life-changing thing happens, and sure, we move into a different space.
Yes.
So, in the beginning, you know, like I'm a big fan of Gabor Mate.
I love Gabor Mate. You
Yeah.
don't. I would have a
And-
poster of him in my room.
And, you know, his thing is not why the addiction, but why the pain.
Yes.
And like trauma is the gateway drug. And, you know, I believe that. I don't believe it's the case for everyone. You know, some people have no trauma and drugs are just nice, which they are.
Yeah.
Or else none of us would have taken them.
Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah.
And they were part of a solution. You know, my early years of life, from about the age of 6 to about the age of 13, I was abused sexually for a very long time. And my first recollection of taking any sort of mood or mind-altering substance was drinking Vicks Medi-Night to sleep. And I was like 7 years old.
And was that, first of all, I just want to say thank you for being honest and vulnerable about that. And I think a lot of people out there experience that kind of stuff and are scared to talk about it. And to be so honest and vulnerable with that is so important. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it's our duty, if it has happened to us and we've survived it, to help others through it. And the only way we can help others through it is to be truthful and honest about it.
Absolutely. Were you, please, I'm taking the medicine to sleep to get away from the situation you were in.
Well, basically, I couldn't sleep, so
Yeah.
I was too ashamed to tell my parents.
Yeah.
My parents were amazing, you know. My father was strict and I got a few hidings, but those were the days, you know. And like, if I could wish for better parents, I couldn't have got them. So it had nothing to do with my parents. Let me just put that out there. But I was filled with so much shame and guilt that I never really spoke about it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shame around it.
Of course.
I was exposed to a lot of porn. I was even filmed.
Brendon.
It was pretty crazy, and I couldn't sleep. So I'd go into my parents' room, and like say I can't sleep, and I'd get a hiding,
Yeah.
and then I'd go back to my room, and then I started drinking Vicks Medi-Night, and it was my solution, and it worked.
Yeah.
So it started at a very young age for me, and it just got worse and worse. whatever. What's it? The
Abuse.
Well, at the age of 13, I threatened to like expose people and all that sort of thing, and I never did.
Yeah.
I was beaten because of that
By the person or people.
by people.
Yes.
And eventually, when I did expose people, no one believed me because I was in full-blown addiction.
Where's that much later? down
Much
the line?
later.
Yes.
But
yes.
to be completely honest, I did do that for some sort of reaction.
100.
I used
get
it
that.
as a tool and a manipulation, which took me a long time to realize.
I 100% get that. It's kind of using the actual pain as a reason to do whatever it is you're doing, and using real life trauma to traumatize.
Yeah, it was a brilliant justification
Yes,
for it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So at 13, it stopped.
it stopped. Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was like going, because that's a lot of years with a big secret, a massive secret, and then finding a substance to drink at night to put you to sleep at such a young age.
Yeah, and I think that's how it started. And then obviously it progressed, whatever, at like 13, I was smoking weed already. And in those days, there were strange drugs around that were available to us.
Like what?
If you hung out in the right places. Well, like pinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are pinks?
Volcanol.
There we go. There we go. At 13, huh?
Probably around
older, yeah.
around 15, 16. I was at 16. I'd pretty much taken everything you could possibly imagine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine.
Ecstasy, obviously.
Well, there was no ecstasy in this town at that point.
Okay.
That only came around when I was like about 18.
Okay.
With the rave seed. I don't know. You forget that I'm like 51 years old.
I do forget that. I think we're the same age. I do think we're the same age. I'm sorry. That's a good thing.
1974.
Oh my God. Hey, I feel so young. And I'm 40. Carry on. Shit, brain. Yeah.
And yeah, it was just, I love the escape. And it was also in those days, like today it's a little bit different, like in those days, drugs were really cool.
Yes.
Like if you looked at the music industry, wherever, like it was all the like cool people who were taking drugs.
You got Hunter
And
M.
today,
Thompson.
You got
Yeah.
the whole story, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? The Jim Morrisons, whatever it may be. Tom Waits,
Oh,
the
God, yes.
alcoholics,
Yeah.
And those were the cool people, and those were the people we aspired to
Yeah.
be. And it was cool to take drugs. Today it's a little bit different, where it's not so cool to take drugs.
I think the narrative is shifting a little bit, but I think I can see how back then, right? Sorry, I'm like taking us. We keep discussing this in like most episodes. Back then, it was so cool. Like watching Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, things like that.
Oh my God, like I wanted that. I
Yeah.
wanted that for myself. And then I find like it started turning because people are speaking more openly about like the effects of it and stuff like that, and kind of trying to lift the veil on it and the glamour on it. But then you get a show like Euphoria that the younger generation is watching now, which is a series on addiction and the youth, which does have the power, if you're already traumatized like we were as kids, to watch something like that, you can glamorize it yourself, even if the show itself isn't glamorizing it.
Okay.
Does that
I've
make
never
sense?
seen it.
Oh, I won't watch it. I've seen clips of it.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
But I don't watch TV or anything. Like, I don't watch TV or series or anything.
He's insane.
Um,
Sorry, let's go back. Let's go back.
So, yeah, the story. And then we got into the music industry. We became really famous.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the original Evergreen.
So in high school, you were using the substances, got involved in music, and then created like a legacy.
Pretty much.
That is insane. Tell us about how you got into that.
We just started making like hip hop music. Who's now Die Antwoord,
Yes. Yes. I'm just gonna. Yeah. Sorry.
And you know, like by the time we were like 19 years old or whatever, Sony had bought us a house. We had like a number one song,
What was the song?
Puff the Magic. It was all about smoking weed. We had jumped on the like Cypress Hill bandwagon, you
Oh,
know.
yes, I remember that era.
Yeah, insane in the membrane.
Yeah.
And we won a SAMA award.
That's a South African Music
And
Award.
That's a South African Music Award. And, you know, like the life was like, that was the life, you know, drugs, partying. I'd actually calmed down by that point a little bit.
Really? So the
Yeah.
drug use started to...
Well, it was just around, like it was mostly around marijuana
Okay.
use, and then like the alcohol. And yeah, we were just like, and we just carried on partying. And then I got into the DJ industry, and I basically grew up in nightclubs
Same.
till I was about 41. You know,
So you were DJing?
I was DJing everywhere. I was doing festivals. Like even towards the end, you know, like the last 5 years of my addiction was nothing. I would do festivals and I was selling like nitrous oxide, shrooms, weed and acid. And I'd make a fortune and I'd have enough money to like sustain me for the year after doing like one festival to sustain my drug habits, you know?
You went to DJ but went to deal.
A mixture. Like we had little stalls, you know. I had a good connection for nitrous oxide.
Oh my God.
We would go to all the festivals, and just things progressed, you know. But for me, it was never. I'm a poly user,
Yeah.
and I will use anything,
Yes.
uppers, downers. For like I said, the first time I shot up, I must have been about 16 years old.
Heroin.
No, Volcanol.
Oh, wow.
Pinks.
Pinks, yeah.
Yeah. I've, you know, I've had people die next to me. I've shot up people who are now dead. I've given drugs to people who are dead. It's been quite a turbulent journey, and like, sure, I'm grateful for the journey because I'm here now.
Yeah.
And like, never in my life did I ever think I'd become a whole person like I am now. And the journey has been amazing, but a lot of people have been hurt on the way. So if I could change one thing, you know what I mean, it would be like the hurt I caused throughout my addiction to other people. And I had this notion and this justification in my head that like I was only ever harming myself.
Yes.
But geez, I was harming everyone around me and everyone I ever cared about, and the ripple effect was insane. And I thought I'd be dead by 30.
Yeah.
So right now we're living on borrowed time, and today I like to like live life to the fullest.
Absolutely.
And for the first time, the last 10 years, like my early recovery was turbulent as well. And for the last 10 years, my first 7 years of recovery were amazing. You know, okay, besides the first year. But the first 7 years of my recovery were incredible. Like I didn't know there was a life like this to be led. And I can attribute that to a 12-step program.
Yeah.
And not just one, I used all of them. So I used AA, NA, CA, whichever I could get my hands on. I didn't do the others.
Okay, no. There's a lot of 12-step
Yeah,
programs.
yeah.
So the drug and alcohol.
The drug and
based,
alcohol-based 12-step programs. I have actually taken someone through the eating disorder 12 steps.
Yeah, good man.
Who taught me more than I've ever known, and they were the best 12 steps I've ever
They're great,
experienced.
They're great.
Best questions, best everything. She taught me,
Yeah.
even though I was helping her.
Yeah.
I learned a lot through that. Still got a lot to learn around that.
Well, if you have any questions about that, that's something I'm super passionate about.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask is, like, okay, so you came from that is severe trauma, and you took us through the kind of progression of that. And I mean, you also mentioned earlier that you also love Gabor Mate. I mean, that's my man. That's my man's. I love him. If anything happens to that man, the world will burn. That's my theory. I love him very much.
I'm a huge fan. But there's a whole new movement similar to his,
Yes.
where they're saying addiction isn't a disease.
Yeah.
And
How do
it's
you
a
feel on that?
disorder. How do I feel about
Yeah.
that? Like, personally, like, I'm on the fence. Sometimes it's a disease, sometimes it's not, but mostly not. I struggle with the whole thing. Like I have been brainwashed in, like, I basically have been living in rehabs for the last, like, nearly 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So, like, you you're told what to do, and
Exactly.
you struggle to form your own opinion on how things work.
Yeah, because then that's where the surrender comes in, and you're just listening and
Yeah,
listening and
and
listening.
like, but the last, like, I would say, like, 3 years of my recovery have been different because, as you know, I had like a bit of a, like losing my nephew
Yeah, I'm
really
sorry for your
shook my
loss.
whole recovery.
Yeah.
My recovery has been, like, things have happened in my recovery. I got a tumor.
I didn't know that.
Didn't you? Yeah. So I had a
No.
tumor. Yeah, they chopped out a huge chunk of my
When
head.
was this?
I was like 9 months clean.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Brendon?
yeah. And I've lost my mother in recovery. I and the biggest gift I ever got in recovery was my nephew,
Yeah.
being able to be part of his life.
Yeah.
Because the last time I got arrested, my brother, who eventually bailed me out, because my family had, like, were done with me in a way, and he eventually bailed me out, and we got into an altercation, and I actually bit him on the face.
I mean, I see the logic. Yeah.
Uh, and it took 2 years for him to ever speak to me again.
Yeah.
And I became part of my nephew's life, and he was my biggest gift in recovery. And when he passed, he was 12 years old. When he died, like, I struggled to see the point in all of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, high power, fuck you. God, fuck you. If there's a God, you know what I mean? And I struggled, and I needed something more than a 12-step program.
I can imagine, because there's
Yeah.
real feelings and real pain in that kind of grief and loss, and you've spent your whole life learning how to numb that kind of feeling, and
Yeah.
nothing even close to that.
Yeah, because, like, like, I expected, like, we expected to lose our parents in life.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, this little boy who was just so special and so magical,
What was his name?
his name was Joshua.
Joshua.
Um, and things shifted. I've been working in this industry. Basically, I was a patient at a facility,
Yeah.
the same one you went to.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after a year of basically being in their care, they offered me a job. And I've been working in the industry since.
What was the job they offered you in like when you first started there? Was it counseling?
No.
Yeah.
No. I was a halfway house manager.
Ah.
Yeah.
Then I know
was
the
like
halfway
close-
house you were managing.
Yeah, probably. And it just progressed from there. They were very good to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. My whole life had been living in nightclubs,
Running the streets. Listen, Brendon lived
doing
in the
festivals.
in a roof.
And, like, the last 5 years of my addiction, you know what I mean? I was shooting up meth and heroin every day.
Wow.
I was living in a squat. I was living in the ceiling because I was so paranoid.
Tell
with the poor
me
dog.
about that.
I'd take a step ladder and, like, lift it up, and I was living in the ceiling. I went into full-blown psychosis where I thought I was, doing. I was taking every drug you could possibly imagine. I eventually went into, like, a really deep, strange, crazy, exciting because
Yeah.
it was exciting, psychosis.
Yes, what was the
With-
exciting psychosis?
Where I thought I was like Jesus, and
Oh, that's a
it's a
spiritual
common one.
psychosis, bro.
It's a common one, but I thought I was like the blue Jesus, and I'd spray paint myself blue, and I would go to churches and preach, and generally get escorted out by the police or
Wow.
ADT. But yeah, a strange thing happened, and like I don't really want to go into the details of that.
Yeah.
Where I thought I was like could perform miracles, which maybe I did, maybe I did.
Oh my god.
When you're smoking tons of meth in a lolly, the same lolly you're smoking DMT in, things go a bit weird.
Yes. I had a similar thing. I'll tell you after you tell this. I had a very similar thing.
And I went completely crazy. I found myself, like not really in reality at any given point.
Yeah.
And the last time I got arrested, I was court appointed into rehab.
Okay.
And I was a one and done. I'd never been to rehab before. I was 41 years old. And like, I truly believe that like it's about like stars aligning when
Yeah.
people come into
Yeah.
recovery. Like all the stars aligned and everything came together. And I found everything I wished I could have found in drugs and alcohol. I found in recovery.
What is
Like
it?
some sort of purpose.
Purpose. That's what you found. When you got court ordered to rehab, was that a 12-step rehab?
It was a 12-step rehab.
So
Yeah.
what was it you think that shifted in that time? Like what was it where you were like, okay, maybe I can make this change? Because you must have been in withdrawal coming out of psychosis.
Okay, so I was. What shifted that change? It's actually a really good story. Actually, then I've told this story a few times. Is that I would sit in these meetings.
Yes. 12-step meetings.
I'd sit in these 12-step meetings in rehab, and these people would come in and tell their story, and I'd be like, "What a joke!"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not addiction.
Yeah.
I was so much worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Comparisons.
yeah. Looking for like the differences rather than the similarities,
Yes.
as they say. And like this is a joke. And one day I was sitting in a 12-step meeting, and this guy came and shared, and it made my story sound like Disneyland. You know what I mean?
You got humbled as an adult.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And that's where the shift started to happen. And that's when I did a proper step one. And
What's step one? Do you want to explain to people?
okay, sure. Well, step one is what is step one again?
Admitting we were powerless. I mean, we don't
Admitting
need to go too
powerless
into
of
it.
drugs and alcohol, and that our lives had become unmanageable. So I did this step one, which is part of the 12-step
Yeah.
program. Sorry, I forget.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
And we had to write these stories on like how our lives had become unmanageable, and it was basically like the things we had done, like things I'd done to get drugs, things I'd done to my family, dangerous situations I'd
I
put
remember,
myself
yeah.
in. And I did quite a thorough step one of like, I think we had to do like 60 stories.
We had to write 60 stories of awful, like horrible situations, dangerous situations.
Yeah. And after I read that to my counselor at the time, who, when I first arrived, I was like, she was quite young, and I was like, how's this person going to help me? I'm 41 years old, and I've been doing this for like, she was amazing, by the way. She was incredible. And I read these stories, and I was like, is this my life? And that was my life. And I kind of like read it, like looking at it as a spectator, and how it unfolded, and like it was really sad. It was a really sad life. It was a really sad existence. I only started living once I found recovery. The rest of the time, like towards the end of my recovery, I was completely suicidal. I had attempted suicide. I tried to gas myself in the car. Someone found me. I hated them for that. And that was all revenge sort of tactics
To
that I
get to
did
be
on
seen.
people. Yeah. It was probably to be seen, to be heard,
Yes.
to be,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that can go back to even when you were a kid.
And that story of resentment being the number one offender, truly, truly rings home to me. Like I was full of anger, I was full of resentment, I was full of hate. And today it's different. Like those aspects don't really feature in my life.
Yeah.
Um, yes, I get resentful. Sure. Yes, I get angry. But it's not all consuming like it used to be. I don't relive it every single day.
Yeah.
Some things, maybe. By no means am I perfect. By no means do I not make mistakes every single day.
Yeah.
Um, but it's different. I can actually look at them, I can recognize them, and I can do something about it. Whereas in the past, I would just, revenge was my.
It's so funny you say that. I always say I was driven. I promise you, my whole life, up until I want to say even early recovery, not like in the beginning, because I wasn't self-aware. I was driven by spite.
Yeah.
Everything was spite. It was trauma as a kid, trauma in high school, not facing things, not wanting to face things, not wanting to forgive, and really placing myself in a victim mode for the rest of my life so I could run on spite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
something I
put
relate
myself
to.
hugely in the victim mode.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
would
you
have
were a victim.
So
Yeah.
yes.
At one point.
Yes. But I would use it as a justification
That's what
for
I
my
wanted to
behavior.
discuss. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, like, step 4 is where we really look at ourselves. And I remember we look at resentments in step 4, for those who don't know. And we look at what our part was to play in those resentments. And the part I played in, especially the abuse resentment, was that I let it control my life for so long. And when someone said you do have a part to play in that, I wanted to like knock them out.
I want to knock them out when you say that.
But they were right.
In that.
Yeah, because I held on to it for so long.
Oh, after the fact, I can
Yeah, yeah,
understand.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just
yeah.
hope you know that in that time, you do
No,
not have a part
I
to
don't.
play.
Yeah, no, I wanted to kill
Yeah,
them. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
But I definitely had a part to play in it, for holding on to it for so long, for letting it control my life, for the way I used it as a tool to justify all my shitty behavior.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
How did you deal with that in recovery? Like, so when you go into this rehab space, you're sharing your stories, you're learning from other people. What were the tools given to you, like as you move through recovery to deal? You mentioned a few things. The childhood trauma, also the trauma you put other people through, and that you mentioned previously, and the and losing people while you're in active addiction.
losing people while I'm in active
Yeah,
addiction.
when you were in active addiction, using with
Oh
people,
yeah, yeah.
watching them pass, like things like that. Like a lot of people, I feel, really struggle with that when they first start to get sober, because the guilt and the shame can eat us alive.
Yeah, the only way I can deal with it is the living amends and how I show up today.
Yeah,
So how I show up today, like I can't change the past,
exactly.
no matter how much I want to.
Yeah.
And all those things I did in my past, horrendous things,
Yeah.
like horrendous things, I can't change them. But the way I show up today and the way I show up in the future, I can definitely do something about. And that's the only way I've been able to forgive myself, because I have forgiven myself.
Yeah.
And I show up and I help others.
Yeah.
I help others to hopefully see that they can forgive themselves too.
That, I mean, you do that every single day now.
I do that every single day.
You do that every
It's
single
it's
day.
it's hard work. I don't get it right always. I sometimes feel a little depleted and defeated, seeing these people who have so much, going for them, and who have so much potential, and like want to throw. But people obviously saw the same thing that I did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But it can be hard working in this industry. Some people can detach themselves from their clients.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy, and I know I'll never be that guy. So, I get seriously involved
Yeah.
with people's recovery.
Yeah. So you work as an addiction counselor now?
I work as an addiction counselor and recovery coach.
Okay.
And it's been, I like the coaching approach towards, as opposed to the counseling approach.
Explain.
So counseling would be more of telling people what to do,
Yeah.
telling them how they should approach their recovery, whereas the coaching approach is like what they would like to do,
Meeting them where they're at.
meeting them where they're at,
Yeah, I
how
think that's
they
important.
would like to approach their recovery.
Yeah.
And even if I don't agree with it
Yeah.
sometimes, which often I don't, I will support them on it.
100%. 100%.
And I truly believe, and thanks to my friend Leanne,
Shout out, Leah.
like she really shifted my thinking around the whole way to do counseling or coaching
I'm
or
very
helping
excited
people.
for this conversation. We're going to get really into this right now, guys. So just
And
buckle up. Yeah.
I rebel when I'm told what to do.
Yes.
Sometimes, yes, discipline is necessary. So I'm not for these consequences, but then consequences are necessary. Say you've got a naughty kid who always never looks left and right when he crosses the road
Yes.
and runs into the road every single day. Sooner or later he's going to get hit by a car.
100%.
You know what I mean? So there has to be some sort of discipline.
Yeah.
But it's not about telling people how they should do their recovery. Everyone is different. Every individual is different, I believe. And telling people what they should do, how they should do their recovery. I think everyone intrinsically knows what's right and wrong, unless you're a sociopath or a psychopath,
Yeah.
which there are some around.
Yeah, the cluster B personalities are real and actually should be spoken
But
about.
most people know the difference between right and wrong. I think it's intrinsically inside them. Like, I knew, even in the worst of my worst addiction things, that like taking this person's phone and stealing this person's jewelry wasn't the right thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew that like shooting up meth every day is not like the healthiest thing for one to do, and stealing from people and doing horrendous things was wrong.
Yeah.
I knew it. And I think people know what they need to do for their recovery. And by you telling them what they need to do as opposed to what they want to do, can sometimes be damaging. Yes, there are places for it though. But the approach of this like tough love, I struggle with it. Yes, sometimes it's necessary, but I believe that like if you show people compassion, kindness, care, you're going to get a lot further with them.
I agree. I think...
And like some people, everyone, like so many people disagree with me
oh my God,
on
so
this-
many people will disagree.
on this thing. And like, if I look at myself, I remember sitting in rehab and I'd just come from prison.
Okay, you have to go into that. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well, I was sitting in rehab and I was sitting there and like someone gave me the best advice just as I arrived in rehab, and they said, you don't have to take everything they tell you in, just take what works for you.
It's beautiful.
Well, it didn't really work for me then, but yeah. And I was sitting in rehab and I said, the first person that comes up to me, I'm going to knock them out.
Oh,
You
did
know
you
what I
go
mean?
with, you went in with that mindset, 100%.
And the first person who comes to talk to me, I'm going to like just punch in the face. That's like, and on that day, it was someone's birthday. And some guy came up to me with a piece of cake and a cup of tea.
You can't punch that guy in the face, Brendon.
I hadn't received kindness in so long. You know what I mean? No one had been kind to me for years, which I don't blame them.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. And someone came up to me and was kind to me, and like there was another shift. Many shifts happened in this whole process. Shifts are happening today. You know what I mean? Shifts are happening all the time in my recovery, the way I look at recovery, The opinions of other people. I mean, you know, the way recovery is evolving today, it's not the same, you know. And the 12-step program might not be for everyone.
I agree with that.
And remember, it's like, what, when was it? 1935. Some of the drugs that are around today weren't even around then.
Everything's different.
It's different, you know? And like, sure, if you're in this 12-step program and it's working for you and you're getting what you need from it, 100%. But today there are so many alternative ways to do recovery.
That's what I want to speak to you about. Sorry.
It's okay.
You mentioned we went off it, but you spoke about when you lost your nephew, and a shift happened within your recovery in the 12-step space, that you needed something more. Is this where you started to learn about the different paths to recovery?
Well, I kind of lost faith in NA.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. Truly, I can't blame NA or anyone or anything. It was just how I felt at the time. I felt abandoned by the fellowship that I'd given so much to. I'd done so much for recovery. You know, I was already like, I was close on, well, I was 7 years clean. I had dedicated myself to service within the rooms. And when my nephew died, I felt abandoned. And, you know, like, I must have lay in bed for about 2-3 months.
I remember.
And if I received 2 phone calls from people in a, well, like, who are going to love me till I learn to love myself, and this thing, you know, if I receive, and I'm just being totally honest here.
I know.
It was a lot.
That's a lot to take on when you find community and they're not there to pick you up, how you feel in that time.
There is a point that, like, it was a lot for me, because not only that happened, you know what I mean? So firstly, I had this dog that was my homie, was my best friend. First the dog died. Then my nephew died. And then one of my sponsees who I'd been on like a 5-year journey with, who was like my very dear friend, he lost his life to addiction, or took his life.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
A very good friend of mine, who I always blamed myself for him being paralyzed, who had had a stroke with me while we were using. We had been friends for... He had an asthma attack and couldn't get to his asthma pump because he was half paralyzed. He died. And then another family friend who I'd been friends with my whole life was shot dead and dumped in the Vaal River. And all this happened within 6 months. And I was a mess.
Yes. Yes. And I get that.
And I didn't use.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't use, I could, you know, like I have to say, is through the 12 steps. Like, I built such a strong foundation, and not really, like, yes, the community was a big part, but actually the step work. Okay, so the step work for me, like a lot of people say, I don't want to do step work. I just approach it as another way, and like, don't look at it as step work. Look at it as shadow work, because that's what it actually is.
Yeah.
And that shadow work that I'd been working on for so many years gave me this foundation to actually survive that. But I did fall into a very dark place, and I really didn't have a will to carry on, you know.
Did you find yourself suicidal ideation?
I did indeed. Not as bad as active addiction.
Yeah.
And it's so weird, like, whatever, the universal powers, God, whatever you want to call it, higher power, you know, sent a couple of angels into my life that weren't 12-step people. And some of my, like, you know, and that weren't my lifelong friends. And gave me a different way to look at life.
And what was that?
And it wasn't about addiction anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started a more spiritual journey.
Take us through that. I'm interested in that.
I don't really know how to explain it. I started doing much more shadow work.
Take us through shadow work?
Shadow work is looking at the parts of yourself you don't like,
Yes.
accepting them,
Yeah.
and trying to change them.
Actively changing the behaviors or the reactionary
Well,
sides.
some of the parts of you don't like are like kind of inbred. It's another, it's even going back to like saying addiction is a disease when like it's more like a habit forming. And you know these stories of like people saying, "No, I was born an addict."
Mm-hmm.
It's such a load of bullshit as far as I'm concerned. And
Listen, I think it's a disorder because it has been it's a brain disorder. I know it's no longer classified as a disease. I'll check this before I put it out
I think
there.
it is still in the DSM.
Is it
Disease? Yeah.
as a brain disorder or brain disease?
I think it's a disease.
Oh,
Still.
I've got my facts wrong.
Yeah, I could be wrong as
Yeah,
well.
just tell us in the comments.
Anyway, regardless of whether it's a and this story,
Doesn't
whether it's
matter.
it
Yeah.
doesn't actually
doesn't
matter,
matter, bro.
because like people are struggling,
Yeah.
and we want to help them.
Exactly.
So whether it's a disease or a disorder, who really cares?
And they still require compassion.
They still require
You know what
compassion.
I found to be the biggest issue, and that's what you touched on it briefly before, is the model that we came up in, like in a recovery space. And it's great, and it helps a lot of people. It helped me, saved my life.
Saved my life.
For real. And I needed that kind of structure and harshness in the beginning, I think. I did need that. And I was able to move through it and find like my own way and figure out there's a difference between sobriety and recovery and all this kind of stuff. The one thing that was lacking, and I understand in early recovery, I needed someone to be harsh with me, right? Like I could sit in a group and I could say something and be in victim mode, and someone can kind of gently tell me, hey, you're playing the victim in this situation. What's your part? Fair.
Okay, breaking the denial.
Yeah, exactly. But what was lacking, I feel, for a lot of stuff is the humanity of it. I felt like a monster as opposed to a human being for a lot of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're a human being who made mistakes.
Yes, exactly.
We are human.
Exactly. And that was lacking.
And like whatever journey we're on, sometimes I like to call it a dance.
Yeah.
Because a journey has a destination, and we
Yeah.
don't really have a destination. We're just dancing this thing through life.
That's like Waking Life, the movie.
You know, sometimes I'm like cursing my clumsy footsteps on the way, and sometimes I'm right in the groove. You know.
On the way here, I screamed in the car because the G20 shut down all the roads. I screamed. Anyway, yeah.
And like there is no destination, and I'm learning every single day. And you know, the principles of recovery are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness.
Yes, carry on.
And I've got to be willing to look at all the other options.
And open-mindedness, you know.
And
to see it.
open-mindedness to see them. You know what I mean? Like, however you do your recovery, you know, people are ashamed that like some of them, you know, might choose the plant medicine route.
Nothing wrong.
And others, you know, a harm reduction route.
Yeah.
Like I know a guy, you know, like also I joined a wellness group that was spectacular.
Yeah.
There was people dragging me out of bed and saying, and honestly, just by getting out of bed and showing up, which was pretty much all I could do, things started to shift. But there are people who, you know, the ketamine treatment, brilliant results from it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it may be, the Ibogaine, brilliant results.
Take us through that, like, because now I know you're in the industry, you know all this kind of stuff. One thing I've always said, and I like since I would say 8 years sober, when I started looking at like what people were doing overseas in the recovery space, right? So it wasn't just this abstinence-based approach. There were other approaches, MAT, medically assisted treatment, harm reduction, plant medicine, all this kind of stuff. And I really opened my eyes to it because the whole time we're being told in a 12-step space or anything like that, something similar to that this is the only way. This
Yeah,
is
I
the only
think-
way.
I think.
And there's, yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry.
No,
Carry on.
okay. No, I just think there's a bit of arrogance in that to say that, like, because people are different, people are nuanced. There are so many different kinds of people from different environments, from different places, on different substances. To say that this all works and you have to do this, and if you don't do this, you're kind of on the outs, is the opposite of human connection to me.
Yeah, it's like if you don't do it this way, this is the only way. If you don't do it this way, you're gonna die.
Yeah. You're going to relapse and die. Is
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
said a lot. Yeah.
But there are other ways. You know? There are other ways. There, people find it in religion,
Exactly.
you know, or whatever it may be. Beautiful teachings in all the religions.
Yeah. Yeah. What is ibogaine exactly? I mean, I know what it is, but if you had to explain it to people, like, what's ibogaine? What are all the different kinds of plant medicines you've heard about or know about?
Okay, so there are many plant medicines.
For addiction or mental health. Sorry.
Yeah, mental health. They've become extremely popular and trendy at the moment, and often sometimes people are doing them for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people claiming that they know how to administer these medicines who actually have no idea. I'd be very careful on where I'd go for these things and do the proper research.
Exactly.
I think it's important for people to do that because sometimes people can get harmed more than whether it's mental health or addiction.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are many out there. There's the ayahuasca, which many people have had great results. There's the ibogaine. So a lot of people mention that ayahuasca is like the nurturing mother and ibogaine is like the strict father.
Okay.
There's DMT, which is also a derivative changa, which is a derivative of ayahuasca. And then there's which isn't plant medicine, but like the MDMA for trauma.
Yes.
There's the ketamine treatment, although
And that's
for a
the
lot
drip.
of people, it was their DOC.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the drip.
Yeah.
And you go on these, for lack of a better term, psychedelic journeys where lead you on a path to show you where you may have been going wrong in life.
Yeah.
You know, you can, and I don't think it's for everyone.
Yeah. I know that it's not for me. I'll say this. For me, I know how my brain works. I know that psychedelics and me were never friends. And I know I don't like being out of control. I have OCD. I have a few things wrong with me, and they're all health anxiety based. I know I wouldn't, right now where I stand, I don't know what it would be like tomorrow. I know I wouldn't do that path now. But I know people who have put work into their recovery, who went that route, and it did help them. You know, and obviously there's people take advantage of it. There's people who do it for the wrong reasons. But that's the same in every single space. There are people that go to 12-step programs for the wrong reasons. You know, there's people that do that. And it's important that we all, we know what's best for us, and we need to make choices that are best for us. And I think a lot of judgment needs to be, should be removed, and it's about the individual in the space.
Exactly. It's, there's no right way to do this. There's the way that works for you, for the individual. And like the harm reduction route, you know, I know people who are serious alcoholics, and today they may have a hit of a marijuana cigarette every now and then. And,
We all know those people.
And they, you know, their lives are, there's no negative consequences around the situation.
That's
what addiction is, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Addiction is, I continue taking a substance despite the negative consequences.
Yes.
And if there are no negative consequences, then where's the harm?
But that's what I say about, like, even if you think of cross addictions. So there's a term, cross addiction, when you put down a substance, you find something else, whether it's behavioral or financial, something like that. That's a new addiction. My mom was like, you've cross addicted to tattoos. Obviously, she's gonna pick that up. It was not harming me in any way financially. In fact, it made me comfortable in my body that I struggled with for a long time, and it wasn't harming anyone else around me unless it came from a place of judgment from them. And I can look at that and go, that's not a bad cross addiction, and that's been good for me. But then in the same breath, I can look at, I cross addicted.
But it's not an addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
So because there's no negative consequence.
That's exactly the thing. Not one.
Yeah.
Not one. And I think if
So
someone...
it's not an addiction.
There we go. Thank you, Mom. It's from a counselor, a coach.
You know, there are many people who can use drugs recreationally.
Yeah.
Without
I know
any
them.
negative consequences.
I know those people. I hate you.
I used to be jealous of them or envious of them or whatever it is. Today, no.
I am a little hair.
No. Today, like I don't have any desire to get high for any reason. I want to grow. I want to be present. And that's the most important thing to me, is being present for other people, for myself. I put people before me there, and like sometimes I do that.
I know. I know.
Yeah, it is just who I am. I can try and change, yes. I've been trying to put myself first a lot of the time, but I struggle with that. I want to help people. That's all I want to do. And sometimes I get it wrong, sure. Sometimes I make mistakes. I'm only human, but my heart is in helping people.
Yeah.
And that's given me this purpose. And I love what I do. I love it. Sure, some days I hate it.
Yes, of course.
And some days people die. But I wouldn't... It feels like it's been some sort of calling.
Here's a kitty cat.
Meow.
Hello, kitty. We have a cat with us. And it feels like, see, you want to heal people and a cat came to you. I'm just saying, and this is a cat who was wounded recently and in a really good place now. And he went straight to Brendon. So there's that. Hold on. Dalen ran in here. He's like, I'm sorry. Dude, we're totally okay with animals. You've got the two people okay with animals. I promise it's fine. So yes, so with the, sorry, Kitty, do you want to speak about addiction and recovery? Oh, he's rubbing his head. Oh. That's a baby. That's a baby. You really leave this in. Please leave this in. we love a cat. I used to love cat. Now I like this cat. It's the joke my dad would have made. Rest in peace.
It is a proper dad joke.
It was. But the counseling thing, the coaching thing. So you work with people every single day who are going through the most, right? And you're able to meet them where they are and speak with them and guide them through.
I try my best.
Yes, yeah. But I'm just thinking from a coaching perspective as opposed to counseling.
Yeah, that's it. It's asking them the hard questions that they don't really want to ask themselves, and supporting them. You know,
the humanity.
Definitely, and like asking the whys. Why?
I hate that because it's so like if I'm struggling with someone and someone says why, I'm like, oh fuck, needed to hear that because I don't know sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes. No, I do know why.
You do know why.
It's about what I do with the why.
Yeah.
Sometimes I won't do anything with the why. I need someone to kick me in the fucking ass.
What's that?
Self-sabotage.
Fear.
A lot of fear.
Yeah.
Do you want to counsel me? Please, I need help.
It's fear, you know, today I was filled with so much fear, and through a lot of like reading, like my fear has mostly turned to love, and my approach to everything is with love, and it's helped me with so many different things. I'm on no medication. I don't desire to use in any way whatsoever. I've been diagnosed and put in boxes my whole life from the age of like, I don't know what.
Yeah.
I've been given meds my whole life from the age of I don't know what. And today, none of it. And it's like I try my best to grow every day and learn something every day. And life is beautiful, even though it can be really scary, really painful. You know, my recovery hasn't been all roses and beautiful and amazing, and like it's been difficult, man. I've struggled.
You've been through unexplainable grief while in recovery and managed to figure out a path to be kind to yourself moving through it.
And I'm still healing,
Yeah.
you know, every day. And will I be fully healed? I don't know. But as long as I'm moving forward, and at whatever pace,
Yes.
it doesn't really matter. As long as I'm going forward, and I'm doing something about it. I have to do something about it.
Absolutely.
You know, like whatever path you choose on this journey, I think it's important you choose something.
I like that. Because you have choice.
And you got to do something.
Is that what you would say to someone who's struggling? Someone who's struggling now.
It depends
Do
on
it.
their story.
I know it's so individual. It's so individual. That's why I think it's best to kind of... Well, I like that. Like, choose a path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choose something and stick to it, you
Yeah.
know. Because obviously what you're doing right now isn't working. I had an answer for you there, and now it just...
Sorry, that was me.
Oh yeah, for me, the single thing that works the most for addiction is living in my core moral values.
Wow.
You know?
Yes.
If I'm living in those core moral values, and if one of my values is love, which most people love integrity, and if I'm living in those, the chances of me picking up a substance is pretty much zero. So if I'm living in love, then I'm loving myself, I'm loving everyone around me, and I would not do anything to harm them.
That is beautiful, Brendon.
I used love as my higher power for a very long time. I used all the spiritual principles as like my sort of higher power, and love was one of them. And if I'm living in those core values, so anyone, if they're living in their core values, the chances of them using a substance is minimal.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think that's something in early recovery. I wish I heard that in early recovery. Can I tell you why though? I didn't know what my core... By the time I went into recovery, I couldn't identify my core values, but I knew what I didn't want to be. And that helped me figure out who it is I really was, and then finding my core values. What a beautiful project for someone to actually do for themselves.
Well, I think it's important for anyone to...
Yeah.
And that's the shadow work, is looking at what my values are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I also
and you find that pretty much most people have the same values.
Yeah.
Some value money a lot, which
it
is important.
Yeah.
We need to eat.
Yes, that is a vital life. Water, isn't it? Well, that's free. Sorry.
Well, yeah. We're not going to get into that conspiracy theory, but anyway.
No, another podcast. That's another podcast.
Poisoned water, but like I'm not going to go there.
You can go on a podcast with a man who just did ayahuasca to have that conversation.
But yeah, it's been a beautiful journey, and I think anyone who's struggling, needs to ask for help. And I think that's the most courageous thing you can ever do.
I agree.
And there's help out there. And the reason most of us don't ask for help is when we're in active addiction is because we'll probably get it. You know,
Yes.
I
Yes.
could have gone to my parents at any point and said, look, I need help. But no, I fought with them about it. Like,
Of course.
not needing help.
Yeah. I would do anything to
You know,
not get help.
I was living in a really shitty environment. And I could have gone home to my family and said, look, I need help. And lived in a really lovely environment. Instead, I chose not to.
Yes. And not many people even have that privilege.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
that privilege.
Yeah.
There's some people who don't have that privilege.
Ex-
And there are
exactly.
some people who do have no one to ask
Yeah.
to get help from.
And that's important to know, that there are resources, free resources available where you are able to find, I don't know, just some kind of connection to something else, which is why I think 12 steps are important,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
those are free spaces for people to form connection and figure out, I don't know, community in a sense.
Yeah, amazing that. And like, the 12 steps are free.
Yeah.
And they're available to everyone.
Yeah.
Sanka's free,
Yeah.
available to everyone. Yeah, and you can find some sort of purpose there. Service played a huge role in my early recovery, and that was where the purpose started. Like,
Acts
I
of
was a bit
service
of a
for other people.
service junkie within the rooms, and today it's evolved to service everywhere,
Yeah.
wherever I go.
Yeah.
You know,
Service is
my
my
main purpose in life is to leave people better than how I found them. Whether it's the lady at the Checkers till, no offense, ladies at the Checkers till, but I don't know, the Checkers till lady seems to be a little bit more miserable than the rest of them.
There's so many memes about this. I'm sorry, South Africa.
But like, I go there and I have to make them smile and I have to make them laugh. You know what I mean? And I get curious with everyone I meet. And I just want to make people smile and have. Well, I can't make them happy, but I want to leave them smiling. You know what I mean? I want to make people smile.
If it makes it, I just want to say to you, Brendon, for real, like, I don't remember the first time I met you because half my life is a blackout, but I was apparently sober when I first met him, and I did a share I did service.
Yes.
I did service, and I was sharing my story. I don't have memory of a lot of things back then. But I forgot what I was going to say.
No, paths had crossed before in active addiction, I think.
What? Oh my God, yes, I have a photo of it.
Yeah.
Okay, no, guys, please, sorry. This is very important. I was going through my old photos on Facebook, right? And I was looking at, like, we went to this one club. Not even a club, it was in town. It was like this building in the middle of town. In Newtown.
I can't remember.
Concrete
Like,
building. Don't know. Went there with people, and I'm looking and I'm getting like a memory of this night. It was an insane night. And I'm scrolling. You sitting next to me. You are sitting right next to me with my group of friends.
And now look at us.
Look at us here, sitting here now. We were off our faces. You can see in the photos. We were off our faces, and then we find ourselves here. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. Every single time I have met you, and every moment I spend with you, when I see you walk into a recovery space, when I see you outside getting coffee, you know, when I bump into you, I guarantee you I always leave with a smile. I remember when you were struggling. And I saw you a few times. I messaged you, and I could see the pain. I could see it. And you are the kind of person that deserves the entire world. Like, you really do. And I hope you know what good you give back and how loved you really fucking are, Brendon. Like, and the work you've done, I know how many people you help. I know the service you do. I love that you're open-minded in a recovery space and are able to care for other people in a recovery space where the world has turned their back on them and told them you're a monster. You're the kind of person who goes, no, you're not, you're human. And we need more people like you, and I cannot stress that enough. I cannot thank you for the work you've done on yourself and for other people, and you're going to make me cry now.
Making me cry.
Sorry, but it's true. You need to hear it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to cry.
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize for making me cry.
I apologize for everything.
It's tears of joy.
And you know
You
that,
need to
right?
stop apologizing for everything.
I know. Ask me why. Why do you
Why
apologize?
do you apologize? Why do you apologize for everything?
Because I'm a people pleaser, and I don't want people to judge me. And they must only judge me on my own terms, which is why I have tattoos. Think about it. I could go into deep detail about myself. No, but you give humanity to addicts who have been told their whole lives they aren't human. And I hope you know that about yourself. Stop! I'll give you a moment.
Yeah, my heart's in this, and I'm coming with love, so I do know that about myself.
Good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say? Stop. You guys don't understand how much I love Brendon. Like it's like insane.
No, just thank you for having me here.
No, we definitely want to have you again.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I think we only touched the surface of, and like the ADHD kicked in on both sides. We went all over the place, but I'm more than happy to come again. And
Oh, you can carry on speaking if you want.
I don't know.
Do you feel you've said everything you needed to say? I don't
no.
want to cut you off. No, then keep talking.
I don't know what I want to say though. You know what I mean? Like so.
Any? Do you want to take? We can even take a break and come back if you want to continue. Let's do that.
Take a break and come back.
Well, let's see. Let's wait. Let's wrap it up. Dylan, cut this part out. Wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do like a little wrap up here, but we might come back.
Yeah, sure. My
cigarette
glasses
break.
are steaming up.
Now, dude, I have never, like, I'm very emotional, like, from a genuine point because I just know the work you do. You know what I mean? And I feel like I needed someone like you in early recovery to be around. I really needed that, and I got through it without that, you know. But it's cool to see how viewpoints are changing, and there's a more gentleness to recovery now, and honesty. And yes, there's the like you need to take a harsh look at yourself in recovery. You do, but it doesn't have to be done like self-flagellation the whole time.
Yeah, and like sometimes people get caught in that trap.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna be like constantly filled with shame and guilt and all that, what are the chances of me not picking up?
Yeah.
Pretty much fucking zero.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
No, I swear.
If I'm gonna get caught in that trap, it's a vicious circle, you know. So telling people they're shitty human beings all the time, even the new look at like, even psychology has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the past it was, let's look at your trauma, let's look at this all the time and go back and go back and go back. Like no one gets to grow. I'm constantly repeating the same story. I don't know how many psychologists I've been to where I had to tell the same story. And I leave there feeling like shitty.
Yeah.
And it's changing today, you know?
There's behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
There's cognitive behavioral therapy. Different eye movement therapy.
And it's, we don't have to revisit the past all the time to get better and moving forward.
Wow.
It's sometimes not really necessary. I know we say we will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. There's some things I regret.
Yeah.
You know?
Same. And that's okay.
And if I didn't regret them, then I would be a sociopath or a psychopath. Do you know what I mean?
100%. People say to me, do you regret certain things? And they expect me to give an answer like, I don't regret anything because I'm the person I am today because of it. But of course I regret things.
Yeah, fuck.
And that's fine.
Horrendous things.
Dude.
My poor mother.
That's who I think about, my mom. My mom. She's still damaged to this day. You know?
Well, you know how many families I deal with? When they see my number come up on their phone, they have like a full-blown panic attack.
100%.
You know? And the first thing I say is, you don't have to worry. Like, this isn't a call about that. But sometimes it is, you know?
Yeah. I like that. I like just how honest and, you know, you say we jumped around like ADHD and all of that. I think everything said just is the natural flow of a conversation with people who are healing and choosing to heal, or people that are listening to each other. Nothing needs to be like nothing needs to always flow logically.
Linear.
Recovery isn't linear. Why should conversation be linear in this space? That's not, me and Brendon are not those people. When we're together, this is what happens. But again, like, I think the work you do is incredible. I think who you are is incredible. I'm just so honored to have you here, Bren. I really am.
I'm honored, and it's been such a pleasure to do this with you.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna end it there. We definitely gonna bring Brendon back for more. I think because our brains work very similarly. If you come back, we'll do maybe questions and guys, ask Brendon questions in the caption. Maybe we can do like a question and answer kind of thing, because maybe we need that. Nah, fuck it.
All for that.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna see what happens. But I really loved every second of this. So nice to sit down and just have a meaningful conversation. That's really touching. Your story is powerful. Your nephew is proud of you. And I'm proud of you. And I know your family is. And so are you. Thank you so much, Bren. Love you, bro.
Me too.
You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. Guys, this is Healing. I love you. We do recover. I love you, Bren.
Love you too.
Let's have a cigarette, bro. Let's have a fucking cigarette.